Morning team, hope you're all well. I wanted to talk to you just a few ideas going into the last 4 months of the year. Can you believe it? We're almost at the point now of 4 months remaining of 2020, and it's going to get slower as always happens, particularly in the mortgage industry. You know, December hits and everybody puts things on hold. We're in funny old times within the mortgage world because the lenders don't want to lend and clients want to buy. And specialist markets are even harder and criteria is getting tougher, and it could be all doom and gloom. But I think you've just got to remember that there's opportunity in adversity. And much like when this whole environment hit at the beginning of March, you know, you expect the unexpected. You've got to be able to survive in order to be able to thrive. And I think most importantly, now's the time to be maximizing every opportunity. And I think there's a few small things that you can do in order to be able to keep getting results from your marketing efforts, from your sales efforts. You know, I'm speaking to a lot of my mentees, and the big concern at the moment is they're getting loads of inquiries, but they're not converting to money. They're not converting to deals. Let me know if that's your experience as well, because the criteria is tough out there right now. It is hard to place trickier cases. And I think it's vital that you're doing a proper job for every single client that you're working with and looking at all the opportunities that you potentially have. So not just if they're coming to you for a mortgage, but looking at it from the point of view of have they got life insurance, critical illness, income protection, a will, pensions, investments. You know, wills are vital going forward. And actually, you'll find that having a discussion in and around a will gives you the opportunity to discuss more in and around the life insurance and critical illness and income protection, because people open up that little bit more. If all you do is focus on taking the order for the thing that they want, then you're going to find yourself getting loads of inquiries, but very few conversions. It's going to be a numbers game for the next few months. The more people you speak to, the more deals you're going to do. And there's a means to not get disheartened with the fact that in the future, you're building pipeline. The job is to maintain relationships with these people for the long term, so that in, 3, 6, 9 months, you make sure that you've got a pipeline of people that are ready to buy. But also a marketing tip. You get what you pitch for, as one of my mentors used to say, or still does probably say. You know, it's rightly so. You get what you pitch for. So you need to make sure that your marketing, your messaging, and your pitching through content and through video is educating consumers and buyers and investors and home movers on what they actually need to do in order to be able to buy. There's no point in pitching 90% deposit, 90% mortgages and 10% deposits at the moment. It's just too difficult. So make sure that you're putting out messages that are actually going to attract the right type of people. Now, I know there's fear in and around niching, as I'm always talking about. But when you're laser focused with your marketing efforts, with your messaging, then that's going to give you an opportunity to attract those types of people. You're going to qualify those that you want and disqualify those that you don't. David said there's never had so many inquiries, but nightmare to place. Exactly that, David. And that's the thing. You're stockpiling for later. But what are you doing in order to be able to maintain the relationships with those people in the future? Are you making sure that you've got email marketing? You've got them in a Facebook group. You're inviting them to somewhere where you can continue to keep educating them. Have you offered them your lead magnet in order to make sure that they've got that downloadable guide that puts you ahead of everybody else? Because the last thing that you want to happen is for those people to go cold, forget who you are, and they meet somebody else at the next networking meeting, or their best mate recommends them. There's also a need to think about, and I think this is massively undersold. If something were to go wrong between now and the next 3, 6, 9 months, what's going to be the biggest impact to their ability to buy, move, or invest? It's going to be their income. So what are you doing to have conversations with your clients to make sure that you're safeguarding their income, you're protecting their earnings, you're making sure that they still have money coming into their bank so that they don't get adverse credit? We're going into uncertain times with people coming off of furlough. We're going into uncertain times with people going back to jobs that they hate. And it's about making sure that the financial foundations are perfect for your clients. So if you just act as an order taker for the mortgage, you're missing massive opportunities. You're missing the chance to make more money and to safeguard those clients and to keep them for the future. So over the course of the next 4 months, I really want to go hard and go home. At the end of this week, I'm going to be starting with my new business coach. I've paid her more than I have ever paid anyone to work with them for a 3-month period, more than I've actually paid anyone to work with some. I've paid more for 3 months than I've ever paid somebody to work with them for a year. And the reason being is because there's a guarantee that we will make back the investment that I've made over the course of the next 3 months. And I am confident that we can do it. I've spoken to other people who have worked with her who can do it. And I really want to lead by example from the point of view of actually showing you what I'm doing and what I'm working on. And rather than just telling you what you need to do, showing you what I'm doing. I think one of the mistakes that I've probably made in my own personal brand and marketing journey since 2016 is talking about it too much after the fact rather than actually as it's happening. And I think there's a massive lesson for you in there for your journey with marketing and with social media and with putting yourself out there. If you're at the very beginning of that, share what you're learning as you go through. Because your whole thing is you're building relationships and you're building connections with people over the long term. You know, you look at the hero's journey, which is one of the major things that they talk about in books, in films, you know, the rags to riches, you know, Rocky Balboa films where he gets knocked down and then he comes back and he wins. That's you buy into the story. And you can take people on your own story, and documenting that journey is what it's all about. And creating content is really, really difficult. If you have to consistently keep creating content, you got to think Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, podcast, Twitter. That's 6 different places. And then you've got page and profiles to add into that. So you've got 7. Maybe you've got a personal one and a business one like I've got. That's 8. And if you're constantly if you're constantly creating content for your audience to try and help them and inspire them and motivate them, then that's going to be really hard because it's tough to come up with ideas. Whereas if you focus on documenting the journey, you know, go and have a listen to Gary V's book, which I can't remember what it's called, which is blooming useless, and it always happens. But he talked about documentation over creation. You share your daily life. You share what you're up to. You share the wins, the successes, the challenges, the journey, what you're up to. And it's almost like a bit of a vlog, taking people on that journey with you. So that's my intention for the next 4 months, is to try and utilize these morning lives to tell you a little bit about what's happening today and a little bit about what's happened to yesterday. Crushing It. Thanks, James. So Crushing It by Gary V. Have a listen to that. I'm going to have a listen to it again over the course of the next couple of days as a refresher. I thought about that this morning, and I'm just going to be hopefully inspiring and motivating you with everything that I'm doing for my training business and my coaching business, as well as what I'm doing within my mortgage brokerage and the lessons and the learnings and the journey that we've been embarking on, as well as part of the reinvestment into the team. You know, I massively reinvest consistently because I think there's always another level that you can potentially go to bring you more value. So I've had Jack for 3 years, and Jack used to do everything. So in a means to stop him doing everything, I took on John, who is all things content writing and strategy and sales pages and landing pages and email automations. That freed up Jack. I then took on Ed to manage some of my communities and to look after intakes of the communities, monitor them, as well as sort out the customers that we have and the clients that we have underneath the pro umbrella and the 178 mentees. That freed up Jack some more. I've then taken on an Instagram agency to run my Instagram and to help with my Instagram, to help with the outreach, because the way in which you grow your Instagram isn't just about daily posting, isn't just about hashtags. It's about outreach to other people in your niche and in your space, sending them messages, engaging with them, having communications and conversations. So I've invested in that. As of next week, or as of now, in actual fact, I've invested in a LinkedIn agency who's actually doing training for my mentees tomorrow in the academy. So we're working with her to get better results from our LinkedIn. Again, we could employ her to do outreach again. She thinks outreach is massive in order to be able to grow your LinkedIn account. But we're not using it for that. We want to get better content out there, and we want to get better results from our content marketing efforts. And we want to understand more in terms of how the platform works. So we're working with her for the next 3 months. The two things that I'm not currently working on, which I will be, are going to be PR and blog writing. They're two things that I do need to add to the income stream, or to the marketing stream. But also, we have now, to free up Jack even more, because Jack was doing the repurposing on LinkedIn as well, I'm now working with a podcast agency. So as from next week, I think it is, we are going to have the first fully professionally edited, and Jack's done a fantastic job for 112 episodes. We've got a full proper podcast agency running and managing the podcast, doing the audio, doing the editing, doing the intros and the outros. So we're hoping that that's going to get marginal gains, which means that actually what we're going to be doing is marketing it pre-release and post-release so that we can maximize every episode, which is something we've not done as efficiently and effective as we could. But this is why when you put experts into each individual area, you get more results. And I'm a firm believer in, you can't be a master of everything. As a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a marketer, I need to be good at the things that I'm good at, which is creating the content and being, no one else can do the Facebook Lives, but having other people and team around you that are able to be the experts in the channels and the areas in which you wish to focus. And it's vital that Jack was my first recruit in doing that 3 years ago. And over the course of this year, I've continued to reinvest the profits into the marketing, because I am a big believer that marketing is 101. The more marketing you do gives you the ability to do more sales and gives you the ability to attract better clients, frees you up from the day-to-day, having an operations manager in the business, having the right people in the right seats, having regular meetings, making sure that you are focusing on your superpowers, only the things that you can do, and getting other people to do the other things is what gives you freedom. It's what gives you choice. It's what gives you a fun and profitable lifestyle business so that you can create more leads, more sales, more profit, and more time in your life. So I want to share the journey with you, leading by example, showing you what I'm actually up to rather than just talking about it, the wins, the losses, the ups, the downs. And I want that to inspire you. I want your feedback, because that's how you can learn, develop, improve, and grow. I'm doing this to hopefully inspire you, to motivate you, and to give you the opportunity that over the course of the next 4 months, you can go big or go home. So have a fantastic week. Hope that inspires you for your first Monday motivation, my first day back after holiday. Hopefully, over the course of the next week or two, I will get into my new home office studio. Just got to sort out all the bloody interior design stuff now. Desks, chairs, TV, table, coffee machine, sofa, or a little funky chair. I have no idea about this stuff. I'm useless. So I'm hoping my wife can deal with it. So have a fantastic week. Let me know any questions or struggles that you are having. I will focus my content in and around that. We are really going in on producing unique content per platform now. The lives are going to be a daily vlog style. we're going to be putting out additional content both on Gary Das and on Active Mortgage for mortgage content and to help mortgage brokers build and grow. We're going to be doing unique podcast episodes. We're going to be repurposing those and utilizing them for LinkedIn and for Instagram. So marketing is my focus. I think it's the number one thing that needs to be focused upon in order to build a business. I'll be educating you, my lessons, my learnings, my trials, my tribulations, and hopefully you won't have to make the same mistakes that I'm probably going to make, so you can get an even faster track to the end result. Good morning, Natalie. Good morning, Osden. Thanks very much for tuning in. James, nice to see you. We shall speak to you all across the course of this week. Let me know how you get on. And remember, now's the time to become pro.